Ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, the state tightens against the Federation of Russia. It must be recognized that the situation becomes chaotic for the Russian Federation, huh? The European Union, has just adopted the 19th package sanctions. Yes, even if these sanctions are not as extremely severe like what America had to take, but the two combined sanctions are complete with the aim of isolating Russia to put Russia in enormous economic difficulties, and it is, which is likely to happen very soon. Unfortunately, so the European Union adopted its 19th package of sanctions, which includes a novelty. And this novelty risks playing a big role in Russia, but also across the whole of Europe. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? After the failure of the meeting between Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump in Budapest, the tension is high up a notch. All of a sudden, things changed, and Russia is on high alert. Seeks to push Russia, to put really Russia water to the wall until that Russia is sinking economically, and that Russia has not no longer have the means to finance the war Ukraine. And they are really, in any case, according to the measurements, the new measures taken, they are really in the process of to gradually reach their objectives. So within the framework of this geopolitical conference dedicated to world news is about this news that we are going to talk about. But before continuing, I ask you to everyone to share the conference. It must be shared in all possible groups. Put lots of likes, and above all, don't forget, not always leave a review in comment. And if this is your first, thank you for coming across my lecture. To click on the subscribe button, click to subscribe. This will allow you to never miss the news again, hot of the moment. We are talking about the international geopolitics, which comes from take a very hard hit with the new decision taken so much by America and the new package of European sanctions. So it is a decision historical, the 19th sanction train. The European Union adopted the 19th sanctions package against Russia, including for the first time a ban on liquefied natural gas. This is the very first time since Europe lives to the rhythm of natural gas liquefied. Europe needs this gas more than ever. Since the beginning of the conflict, they always took type sanctions against Russia, but without never take sanctions for what concerns liquefied natural gas. They had never taken such sanctions. But this time they have taken sanctions in this area. So, Russian liquefied natural gas is part of an elements that are now banned from purchase in Russia. But unlike America, for Europeans there will be a bet progressive implementation of these sanctions. So therefore the short-term contracts will be terminated within 6 months. For them it's not like for the American, which came into effect immediately. No, they want to give time to some companies that import the Russian liquefied natural gas to buy, store a lot. And then we apply the sanction, since Europe depends strongly, still much more of the Russian liquefied natural gas. So all the contracts that are signed in the short term, these contracts will be terminated in 6 months, while long-term contracts will cease in January 2027. So they added another year, okay? A year, 2 months like that. So he must say that this measure directly targets the companies Novatek, Gazprom, LNG, and Arctic LNG 2, which are pillars of Russian gas strategy towards Europe. These are the three companies who are the pillars of transport heat from the sale of liquefied natural gas to Europe. So these three companies are automatically targeted. And so it must be said that Brussels wants proof that she can also go from that. It can also do without Moscow, huh? Even if it means firing an energy bullet in the foot. That is to say, even if this decision goes against their own interest. But Europe, the Union European, wants to show that they too can depart of Russia. We'll see if they can succeed, we'll see. But what remains clearly, the decision has been made. And so what are the European motivations of this decision? The official objective, it is drying up energy revenues from the Kremlin. To dry up the income Kremlin energy. and reduce the structural dependency structural of the European Union Russian gas. So they want to reduce the fact that Europe depends heavily on gas Russian. Several countries, including Poland and the Baltic states, Sweden, pushed for a radical measure after the failure of price cap. So these countries are involved in these sanctions, massive. Germany, France, the more cautious, obtained a timetable spread out to avoid winter shock immediate. So they want to sanction Russia. They sanction Russia. But the question of applicability, that risk of playing on themselves very strongly. So they tried to find strategies for them, allowed to have a little time. This which will allow the different governments to procure gas natural liquefied elsewhere while waiting to make concrete decisions against Russia, to apply the concrete decision against Russia. And so it must be said that Moscow is preparing for a retaliation. Moscow prepares for an economic response and geostrategic. There you go. So we call back the economic consequences of this decision for Europe. As a reminder, Russia supplied almost 15% of the gas European liquefied natural gas, notably via the ports of Dunkirk in France, via Zeebrugge in Belgium, the port of Zeebrugge in Belgium, and the port of Bilbao, that's in Spain. So the complete cessation of these deliveries could increase the gas prices to rise by 20 to 30% by winter 2026. So the stop of the purchase with Russia, because Russia is cheap, that will raise the price of gas from here 2026. So according to the forecasts of Bloomberg Energy, so alternative suppliers who will provide alternatively to Europe. We have the United States of America. We have Qatar. We have Nigeria. Good, but Qatar, the United States, Nigeria will not be able to immediately compensate volumes Russians without disrupting the global market. So the situation becomes very chaotic for the Russian Federation. It is necessary to say clearly, when things are going well, we say that it's okay. When Russia wins a victory, it is said that she won a victory. When Russia loses, we say also that she lost. Or when it is difficult on the Russia, we should announce. And so, ladies, gentlemen, and young ladies, that was the Headline News International. I'll get back to you soon the hour with new news.